Today is August 1st, 2021, and that means I have 1 month and 19 days to finish up the Dakota to go on Race Week 2.0. So what's Race Week? Maybe you're asking if you don't know. I'll put this out there first. If you know what Hot Rod Drag Week is, it's a very, very similar event. If you don't know what either of those are, let me go into it real quick. First of all, you can check it out at RockyMountainRaceweek.com. So go there, you can get more details. But I entered into a competition this year that I've been building this truck around. And the competition is kind of what they call an endurance drag race or drag and drive event. And what you do is you take the vehicle that you like to drag race, that's also street legal, and you start at one event. So one drag strip in an area, and that day you road tech, which means that the truck has to completely function with turn signals, brake lights, horn, registration, insurance, and meet the class that you're in, the rules as far as that goes, and I'll get into that in a minute. Then you tech in for drag racing to make sure that you have all the things that you need to be safe for your class as well, as far as the drag racing part of it. And then you make a couple passes that day. After you're done making passes, you load up. And for race week, we're gonna load up. We're gonna go to a hotel. We're gonna sleep, maybe hang out a little bit, and then sleep. And in the morning, you get on the road and you drive up to 400 miles sometimes to the next track in this truck. I can't tow it with my other vehicle. I can't even have my other vehicle follow me. I have to bring my tools. I have to bring all my luggage, all my extra parts and equipment. All has to come into Dakota, which is one of the reasons that I put this topper on it here. A lot of people actually have a trailer that they hook up to their towed vehicles that holds all their extra parts and things. I decided to try to do without the trailer and just use the camper shell. I think it's gonna work, but we're gonna get into all of that in the next couple weeks. So you do this for 5 days, 4 different racetracks. So you start at racetrack A, you know, make your passes, get on the road, drive to racetrack B the next day, make your passes, sleep, get on the road the next day, drive to racetrack 3 to make your passes, again to racetrack 4, and then back to the start of racetrack A, which is on the 5th day. So it's literally just testing the dependability of your vehicle. It's a lot more about making the whole drive than it is about going fast or winning your class. It's all about kind of finishing, because it's all about the endurance that your vehicle can go through. But it's got to be ready in just over a month. So I've got a lot of things to do to it. And starting on that, which I didn't expect to have to do, is my rack for my rack and pinion steering is going bad. It leaks really, really, really bad. I'm also losing power steering when it's getting hot. So that's something I wasn't expecting to do, but I'm gonna have to fix that. Secondly, and I don't know what I'm going to get done in this video, but we're going to attack the rack first. Secondly, I'm going to replace this dash. Why? Cosmetic purposes only. I love Cletus and I love Roadkill, but these stickers are here to cover up some cracking and stuff behind them that I had put up some decals when I was a lot younger. So I have a mint dash that's going to be going in it. And one of the rules that I need for my class is carpet. So I actually have the carpet right here and a box waiting to go in. So when I pull that dash off, I'm gonna pull the seat out and everything, and we're gonna put the carpet in it. So that's gonna come. Lastly, a couple things are more for safety. Do I have them right here? I probably do. No, that's for different projects. Actually, they're right here. couple things. This, I don't know if I can get it open. Yeah, this is an extra fuel pump. This is just to make sure that I have it when I need it. I don't know what this is. Oh, these are steel spring spacers. Right now I have aluminum ones in, and the aluminum ones are known to crack, so I don't want that to crack on the road, so I bought those. And lastly, over here, this is a dry shaft safety loop, and I've got to have that because of the tires that I run. Requires that you run a dry shaft safety loop. In here somewhere, I don't know where, I need to find it. It's also a new transmission mount because the one I had I can tell is cracking a little bit. So got a few things to do, but you're gonna start seeing the Dakota again on the channel quite a bit more, and I'm gonna do my best to video blog the entire trip, and I'm gonna try to have those out every night, so we will see. But just looking for, I'm really looking forward to this. It's gonna be me and my wife in the truck. We're going with a buddy named Keith that you've seen on the channel before that has the green Fairmont Futura, and I think I got the cooling system worked away. As far as engine goes, I'm pretty set. There's not much else I'm gonna do to it. I don't really have the time or the funds to do a whole lot more to it. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting after it. All right, I'm about to get down there. Sorry, I got a little flashlight on here, and try to start removing this rack and pinion. But let me show you what I did before. Let's see if the camera even capture it. I'm thinking it might. Yeah, it might. All right. If you see right here, I've put a piece of tape on the frame rail, and I want to try to keep the alignment as close as possible. And I've actually marked it because what I did is I went with the flat surface of this side of the frame rail, and I try to level out the tape measure to where it's again flat against the frame rail. And also, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm on the inside edge of the rim, and then I marked where that 12 inches is. So there I have it to where I can get it back in the car and make my adjustments when I pull this rack out to try to get it straight again, because I don't know if I'm gonna have time to go get it aligned again. So we'll see. But that's just step one. Step two is gonna be a lot more crappy but I'll see if I can get it done. All right, I'm gonna turn the wheel because I've got to pull a roll pin out of the bottom down here. Let me show y'all that. There we go. That roll pin right there is what I need. There we go. Alright, that was the hard part. One of the hardest parts. Now, man, you can't see crap. Dang. Now, the factory Dakota has a clamp that bolts into here. I don't, because they got lost a long time ago. So I just run a nut and bolt through it, but that should let it slide. Now, I'm gonna take some heat down there and see if I can pry this sucker off. Oh wow. Actually, I might get that off easier than I thought I was going to. I saw it flex already. And go open that shaft. Cool. It's not all the way off, but it came off some. Let me disconnect these tire rods and pull these hoses off and drain some of this fluid out, and then we'll get to taking the rest of it out. Alright, I made a little bit of a mess on the floor. What else is new, right? But you can see the tie rod is hanging there. It's also hanging on the other side. Sorry if it's hard to see. But all I have left, really, are these two bolts here. And there's one over here as well. Let me move it just a little bit. So, they're 15/16. I'm going to buzz them out. Also got the hoses off. That's why I have a mess. One. Two. Let's see if I got lucky enough to get these out. Those bushings are terrible. And just pull it off. Yep. Nice. I was really dreading that. Let me get this thing out and show y'all. Okay. There it is. And it's been leaking at this seal down here for as long as I can remember. And I had this thing perfectly clean when I put the truck back together. So, grime and everything else. But it's out. And it was a lot easier than I expected it to be. So now I gotta go pick one up. Oh, I hate July. Well, it's not July, it's August. Anyway, so I'll go pick up the new one. These are brand new inner and outer tie rods, which kind of sucks. But I can reuse the outers, so there's that, and I'll probably paint them and whatnot too. But I was really worried about getting the steering shaft off, but that came out better than I thought it was going to. So, all right, well. It stinks and it's hot and gross, and I'm gonna call it for the night. So. Okay, the rack's in, and I've got it over here on the table, and I'm just kind of prepping it before we install it. So this is the new one, obviously. This is the old one. And what I'm doing may be kind of hard to show on camera, but I'm gonna try to get y'all a little bit closer. And I've been trying to find a good place to measure from, because what I want to do is I'm kind of measuring from the joint down here where this bottom thing is. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, you can. And then I'm measuring to where the nut meets the control or the tie rod. And trying to keep that consistent so that when I install it on the new one, it'll line up. It looks like 13 5/8 is right there at the crease for the bolt and the tie rod. So I'm gonna mark that down and do the same thing on this side, which I just did, but let me see if I can get it the same. This side I'm coming from the straight edge here. And it was just like, yeah, it's hard. You just have to take my word. This is 16.5 where that crease is. So, let me double check. Yes, 16.5. And that could have moved a little bit. But I'm doing this so I can pull the tie rods off and get them close to where they were. I'm also going to count the rotations as I back them off and try to see if that works as well. It's not a perfect science, but what's good is the Dakota hasn't moved since I pulled the rack off, and that should be in my favor because usually you kind of jack these things up, but I was able to get it off and undone without moving the truck. So let me get these control arms off, not control arms, sorry, let me get these tie rods off and on the new ones and do some measuring and see what happens. Is on, and it's in place. You can probably see it down there. But now I got to try to find some way to flush out the power steering pump, and I have an idea. I'm not sure it's going to work, but let me get the camera set up and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do. I've pulled off the belt, as you can see. Let's get it kind of out of the way here. And so I have the power steering pump here. Well, I need to flush this thing. And I have this tool that goes on the end of the drill. This is a rubber wheel, and it's meant for pulling off like leftover adhesive and stuff off of vehicles. And it works really well, but it's really, really expensive. So if you don't have one, don't go out and buy one. But I'm wondering if I can get it to work. It's gonna have to go the other way. Yeah, that might work. I'm gonna try to flush it out by pouring some fluid in it and running that wheel. We're gonna see how this goes. I have no clue if this is going to work or not, but we're gonna try it. Oh yeah, it's coming out of here. Sweet. Watch the outside, this one right here, when I hit the drill on it. See all that fluid coming out? It's exactly what we want. Ooh, look at that. That's air coming out of it now. Very good. So I got everything back on. About to put the belt back on, but lines are in. I've got some fluid in it. I kind of overfilled it, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get the air out of it traditionally. So I'm gonna start it up here in a second, and then I'm just gonna go lock the locks for a little bit and see if we can get some of that air out of it. It's probably gonna be noisy upon startup, but we'll see if that quiets down, and if it doesn't, that means there's still air in the system. So we'll work on getting that out, have another option in case this doesn't work, and we'll see what happens. So let me get it fired up. let me show y'all what we got working with now. See, it's all milky in there. Kind of hard to see. You can see a little bit of it. That's all that air coming out. But I think we're on to something because it was quiet when I started it. It's moving easier kind of than it ever has. So I'm just gonna keep working with it and try to bleed this air out of it. If I need to do anything else, I'll let y'all know. So let me get back to it. So it's quieter than it ever has been under the hood. So I'm taking that as a good thing. I just took it around the block. No issues. Gonna watch the level here in a little bit. Just kind of wanted to run for a bit. But I think we're in business. I think, cross fingers, this fixes the issues with the power steering and we can move on to other things. So I just rolled up to the parts store to get some things to clean this mess I have in the garage now. And it's still acting fine. So I think I'm gonna go with it. I'm not gonna say it's completely fixed because I don't want to jinx it, but it's working. It's not making any noise. It's quieter now than it was before. So I'm thinking that rack has been bad for a very long time. I actually drove the truck around with LA model 318 in it for a long time without any power steering using that rack, and I'm sure that wasn't good for it since it's a power rack. So I'm glad to have power steering back. So now there's just a few things left to do before race week 2.0. So we're gonna get on that here shortly. Thanks as always for coming along. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you soon. Until next time, you know the deal. Y'all be good.